Good evening and welcome to the St. Louis 4-School Virtual College Fair, powered by StriveScan. We're excited you've joined us tonight to hear about 6 fantastic colleges and universities. Tonight's webinar is in a 6x6 format, which means that each of our 6 institutions will have 6 minutes to present. If you have questions for any of our presenters at any time, please use the Q&A function, which you can find on your screen, to ask those questions. You don't necessarily have to wait for that presenter. You can ask those questions at any time. And that really is the only way you can communicate with our presenters, because since we are in webinar mode, they cannot see you, nor can they hear you. There are some more sessions tonight in the fair, so if you'd like to continue to learn about more colleges and universities, be sure to sign up. There is a B set of sessions and a C set of sessions. And finally, if you don't have time to see more schools tonight, or if you just want to go back and review any of the sessions, whether that's one that you saw or one that you missed, all of those recordings will be available at strivescan.com/St. Louis 4-School. Give us about a day and we'll get those recordings up. So now that my housekeeping is done, I would like to introduce our first representative from Sewanee, the University of the South.
Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Jeff Heitzenrader. I'm one of the admission counselors here at Sewanee. We're also referred to as the University of the South. And let me share my screen and I will get started on our presentation. Okay, Sewanee is a very small school located in the south central area in Tennessee. You can see there on the map. We have unique pieces about our institution. One of them is that we've got a 13,000-acre campus, and you can see that aerial photograph there at the bottom of the screen. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Our students come from all over the country. Typically 45 to 48 states are represented. And then several countries outside of the US. Another interesting note, 80% of our students do come from outside of the state of Tennessee. We're about half and half male, female, and approximately a third of our students are student athletes. Now the freshman class size this past year was about 530 students, and next year's class is probably going to be in the 450 to 480 range. This aerial photograph is taken right over the center part of our campus. There is no distinction between the town of Sewanee and the university. There's no gates or anything that you would drive through and say, oh, I'm here, and that's where the town ends and where the university begins. You can also get a sense of what the Cumberland Plateau is like. You know, a plateau is a mountain that's cut off and is flat on the top. And we're about 1,000 feet above the valley, which would be the elevation of where Chattanooga is located, which is about 1,000 feet, and our elevation is about 1,800 or 2,000 feet. We're a very traditional liberal arts academic program. You can see a list here of majors and minors that we offer, pre-professional programs, and some other areas of studies and special programs. The larger departments on our campus tend to be English, and we also just recently added a creative writing major. Economics is one of our top 5 also, and recently we added a finance major. So some of those econ students will probably choose that instead. Psychology, international global studies, and then if you considered our entire environmental studies program, which would be forestry, geology, natural resources, and any of the environmental science options, that would potentially be our biggest major. And with 13,000 acres, you can imagine we really have an outdoor laboratory here that our students spend time in. This actually is a classroom setting. So that's Professor Potter, who's teaching a geology class, and this location is within walking distance of our campus. So there are lots of departments and professors who will get outside the classroom and use the 13,000-acre domain as part of their classroom. We came up with something called the Sewanee Pledge, where we have some guarantees for students. So you guarantee when you pay a deposit here and you sign the honor code that you're going to live honorably while you're on this campus. And we make some promises to you. One of them is that you're going to be able to graduate in 4 years, and we guarantee that, or you will we'll pay for the additional time necessary for you to graduate. We also guarantee that you'll get funding at one time during the 3 summers that you're here, as long as you acquire an internship and go through the funding process for that internship. And we also guarantee that you can study abroad in one of our over 200 programs that are approved through the university at no additional tuition costs. So your financial aid, both need-based and merit, will travel with you. This is another location which is about 400 yards from where I'm standing right now in the Office of Admission. The outing program here tends to be one of our more popular activities where students can, like these students are bouldering really close to campus. There's also 50 to 60 miles worth of trails for mountain biking and hiking. And there are lots of places where you can cave, and there's canoeing and kayaking. Much of that is located right on campus. When you think about outcomes and where our students end up, this is an example from the class of 2019, and they're gathering and about to publish the 2020 information. But our alums end up in a number of different varieties of fields and graduate programs. Essentially, the statistic to remember here is that 97 to 98% of our students are at their first destination within 6 months of graduation. And you can see there are some of the top career fields that alumni end up in. Now, you're not going to be able to read this, but I encourage you to go to the Career Center website and download this document, because lots and lots of our students will do career internships and research opportunities in the summer. And this, again, is the 2019 version, which the 2020 version will be updated and on their website soon. And their website is careers.sewanee.edu. Sewanee is Division III NCAA, and I mentioned a third of our students are student athletes. If you're interested in potentially competing at the Division III level, I would encourage you to go to SwaneeTigers.com and explore the Division III athletic options that we have on our campus. We also have club sports and a number of intramural sports. This is a view from the bluff. You know, one of the things that our students will sometimes be interested in outing activities, sometimes they're not, but in many times they want to get out and be at a place where, when the stress is really high from academics or athletics or any number of things, this is a place that's walking distance from our campus, and you can take a break, catch a sunset, or listen to the coyotes or the owls, and really take a deep breath before you dive back into your work. And that's another view on campus. I want to thank everybody for being here today, and I encourage you to check out Sewanee, and there's my contact information.
Thank you, Jeff. That looks like it would be a great place to see the supermoon tonight. So our next presenter is from Belmont University.
Great, thank you so much. So if you go, like an hour and a half down the interstate and come up to Nashville from Sewanee, you'd be right on our campus at Belmont University. My name is John Paul Murray, one of our assistant directors of admissions here at Belmont, and excited to share a little bit about us with y'all this evening. So we are a medium-sized private co-ed Christian institution. Like I mentioned, we're in Nashville, and we're located right in the heart of the city, about 2 miles south of downtown. For this current academic year, we have just over 8,200 students total, with about 6,600 of those being undergraduate students. We're expecting this upcoming fall to have about 1,800 incoming freshman students. So again, nice medium size, on average about 19 students per class. So if you're looking for a school where you're going to get to know your professors, get to know other students, that's certainly us here at Belmont. Our students do come from every state in the nation. About 70% of our student body comes from outside of the state of Tennessee. Some of the larger states that we pull students from aren't necessarily right next door to us, places like Illinois, Texas, California, Florida, Missouri, all over the place. So know that if you're coming to Belmont, you're going to be surrounded by all different types of people. Like I mentioned, we're in Nashville, just 2 miles south of where this picture was taken, which is downtown. We're nestled in between some fantastic neighborhoods. To our west is Hillsborough Village. That's directly between our campus and Vanderbilt's campus. So it feels kind of college towny, lots of young professionals and college students living and playing in that part of town. 12 South is another popular area southeast of us. The Gulch is just northeast of us. And directly north of our campus is the historic Music Row. If you're unfamiliar with Music Row, that is the hub of all things revolving around the music industry here in Nashville. That's where you're going to find studios, recording labels, performing rights organizations, again, anything on the business side of the music industry, right on Music Row. I drive down it pretty much every single day going to campus. This is a picture of Ocean Way Studios, which is the largest studio in Nashville, actually owned and operated by Belmont University. So pretty cool opportunity there. On the academic side of things, we have a lot that you can choose from, just over 100 different majors and programs in a wide variety of different areas. Of course, we don't have time to go through all of the specifics of these different programs, but wanted to list out our top majors as far as size goes on campus. You'll notice a lot of these programs do center around music and the entertainment industry and the arts. We certainly have strong programs within those areas. Our largest major on campus is music business, which is a business degree. It's a BBA, but really teaching you the ins and outs of the business side of the music industry. Other great programs kind of in this world would include audio engineering technology, commercial music, songwriting, the list goes on and on. However, at Belmont, there's a lot more going on campus than just music. Nursing is a great example of that. We have a direct admit nursing program, second largest major on campus. We've seen a lot of growth within our STEM programs, so science and mathematics, a lot of students going on some type of pre-professional track. We're a liberal arts institution. I'm a graduate of our liberal arts programs. I believe that's the heart of our campus. So again, a lot that you can choose from all across the board. Student life-wise, we have a really active campus community. Our campus itself, even though we're in the middle of a city, it feels like you're in your own little world. It takes you about 10 to 12 minutes to walk from one corner of campus to the other. We don't have any big city streets that are running through our campus. So again, you feel kind of like you're in your own place, but you are in the middle of Nashville. So because we have such a tight-knit community, we want to make sure that you're getting plugged into student involvement on campus. We have just over 160 different student organizations and clubs for y'all to be able to choose from. We're also proud to be home to NCAA Division I athletics here at Belmont. We love our Belmont Bruins. All athletic events are free for our students. Just scan your ID card and you're able to attend those different events. Our men's basketball team as well as women's basketball team would be our most popular as far as student participation goes. We'll also have some special events on campus from time to time. It's not uncommon for us to have a concert or a taping. Most notably, we hosted the final presidential debate this past fall, the better of the two for what it's worth as well, right on our campus in the Curb Event Center Arena, which is where all of our indoor athletics happen as well. So not saying we're always going to have a debate on campus, but we are always looking for those big scale events to bring to our campus because we really think that enhances the student experience. Now, for those of y'all that are current juniors or rising seniors thinking about applying next year, August 1st would be the earliest that you're able to apply. We are test optional for students that would be applying for fall 22 admission. You can see here on the screen some averages for this past year, and we do super score on the ACT and SAT should you decide to send those scores over to us. Average GPA for this past year is about a 3.8 on a 4.0 scale. We do have scholarships available for our students. Whenever you apply for admission, you're automatically considered for everything that is listed here on the screen. Really, the biggest date for you to keep in mind is December 1st. We recommend submitting your application and those supplemental materials by December 1 to maximize your opportunity for any scholarship potential from Belmont. That December 1 date's also our priority deadline for the FAFSA. And of course, as you get closer to that, I can help you out and guide you through that process. Last thing I'll mention is that we are open for in-person visits. We're not too far from y'all in St. Louis, so please feel free to come down and see us. We're also offering virtual visits as well. If you have any questions, hit me up in the Q&A. Other than that, thanks for being here this evening.
And thank you. And that's a great reminder. If you have questions for any of our presenters, please do pop those in the Q&A so that we can share that information with them. Our next presenter is from the University of Memphis.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Hey, you all. Let's share my screen so we can get started. All right, so my name is Stefan Parson. I am representing the University of Memphis today. I'm an admissions counselor with the University of Memphis. So Memphis itself, it is a metropolitan city located here in Memphis, Tennessee. So on the west side of Tennessee, like my good friends there, Belmont and Sewanee. But with Memphis, our biggest thing is that we are home to many Fortune 500 companies within the city, such as FedEx, AutoZone, and St. Jude, just to name a few. And so it's also not only a vibrant business center, but a large biomedical hub as well. So there are great internship opportunities throughout the city. And the biggest thing is that the city itself just has a lot of flavor. We do have a sports scene. We have there's plenty of upcoming opportunities. And it's also a fun scene as well. So I'll talk about that a little bit more in the presentation also. But kind of stepping away from the city, our campus, we are a D1 school in the American Athletic Conference. As you can see, we do have a really big sports scene. And so kind of like what I was saying like earlier with downtown Memphis, the campus itself is only 5 miles away from downtown, so about a 10-minute drive, and it's pretty easy to navigate. We do have over 350 student organizations that literally range from anything you can think of. We even have a Harry Potter club, I kid you not. But our Greek life is also pretty big too, so which includes 7 fraternities, 8 sororities, and all 9 of the Divine Nine, which are of our NPAC council, which I am a part of myself. Can't talk today. But our student organizations, they literally range from everything. And we even have plenty of study abroad organizations and study abroad opportunities also. And the cool thing before I leave this slide is that, yes, we do have that big sports scene, like I said. And usually with D1 schools, there's a price to get in to the games, even for the students. With Memphis, attendance is free. All you need is your student ID. And yes, it's for basketball, football, tennis, anything. It is free. With our housing and dining, we have 8 on-campus residence halls, and we do have all women's as well as all men's residence halls and co-ed. For freshmen, you're not required to live on campus. However, we do highly encourage it. And also cars are allowed on campus as well. And kind of looking at our academics a little bit, we have 250 majors and over 50 concentrations. And so just kind of brag a little bit and highlight a little bit, our nursing program, as you see here, is pretty accredited. It's top 3 in the state of Tennessee and top 90 in the United States. So it gets a lot of national attention. And it's a really good nursing program also. Our engineering department is also a center of excellence, which means that every professor has their doctorate, as well as our psychology program. And then our music, theater, and business and education programs are also our most popular majors too, and they're also on the rise. So we have plenty of options. There's definitely a major to choose from. And if we don't have your major, there's definitely a route to get there. And then we also have a Lambeth campus. So our main campus, like I said, is in Memphis, Tennessee, but we also have a smaller Lambeth campus. And so with this, this is a satellite location, and you get all the amenities of our larger regular campus in Memphis, but with that small school feel. So it's plenty of green space, and it's just literally smaller land space. But it's about a 15:1 student faculty ratio and around 1,000 students. And then just kind of some fast facts. We have about 22,000 students. That doesn't mean that you're surrounded by 22,000 people on campus. This is composed of a graduate school, law school, nursing school, et cetera, et cetera. So about 22,000 altogether. And we have a very diverse student population also, with 34% being first gen and over 40% being underrepresented groups. So student advocacy is a big thing we preach here at the University of Memphis. And providing not only diversity, but inclusion for our students. Our admissions process is a comprehensive review of your high school transcript, as well as your ACT score, and an application fee of just $25. In 2021, we have been test flexible due to the pandemic and whatnot. But you'll know that if you're applicable for that, based off your application. And we also have an honors college, which our high school requires a 24 on the ACT and a 3.25 GPA. And our honors college is the largest honors college in the state of Tennessee. So we are also an affordable institution. We are a large institution at an affordable rate. And so for our non-Tennessee residents, which includes most of you all, tuition and fees around $13,000. Room and board, about $9,000, so a total cost of $23,000. Now, this is, of course, without scholarships or any other help, but this is just a pretty general breakdown of what you're going to be seeing. And as far as scholarships, we have departmental scholarships, and our main hub at the bottom here is called Tiger Scholarship Manager. So check that out for sure if you want to see scholarships. They're based off of our departments and based off your major, and there are a lot of small other nuances, but you can literally Google that and it will pop up for you. That's our biggest hub for scholarships. The biggest thing would definitely be to visit us to get a taste of Memphis, y'all. It's just something you have to experience, because when you come to the city, you'll definitely get that flavor. And from the way people walk, talk, act, it's all reflected on campus. So if you want that little bit of flavor in life, definitely come down to Memphis. Connect with us on our social media handles shown here. And you can connect with me with my contact information there, and definitely scan this QR code for more information. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Our next presenter is from Florida Southern.
Thank you. Alrighty. So good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Florida Southern College. So let's get started. We are a private college here. We're located in Lakeland, Florida. So we're about 45 minutes from Tampa and about an hour from Orlando. In terms of our student makeup, you'll see we have about 3,000 total students. About 2,600 of them are undergraduates. You'll see about 60% of our students are coming from within the state of Florida, and 40% of our students are out of state. In that out of state population, you'll see that we have nearly all 50 states represented and about 50 different countries represented. So it's a really good mix of both students from Florida and beyond. We were founded in 1883, which actually makes us one of the oldest private colleges here in the state of Florida. In terms of our academic programs, we do have 70 different majors that you can choose from and 16 pre-professional tracks. So your pre-professional track is what's preparing you for your graduate opportunities. So if you want to go to medical school or law school, then pre-med or pre-law might be the track for you that can supplement what your degree program is. We do have 5 different schools here at Florida Southern, but you are applying directly to Florida Southern when you submit an application. In terms of our most popular major, our most popular majors, those are programs like biology, marine biology, business, nursing, and theater, to name a few. At our core, we are a liberal arts college, so you'll have opportunities to explore beyond your major. About 40% of our students will either double major or minor during the time here at Florida Southern. Regardless of what your major is here at FSC, we have an emphasis on engaged learning, which means we want your experience to go beyond just the notes that you take in the classroom. We want you to be able to put that information into action. Part of how we're able to offer this engaged learning experience is the fact that our average class size is 18 and our student to faculty ratio is 14:1. You're going to have the opportunity to get to know your classmates, to get to know your professor, and build those relationships that are so essential for finding research and internship opportunities, but also diving deeper in your major and what you're passionate about. Here at FSC, all of our classes are taught by professors. You're never going to have a graduate student leading your lectures or leading your session. You know you're going to be learning from an expert in your field every time you're in the classroom. We offer 3 guarantees to all of our students here at Florida Southern, regardless of what they're choosing to study. Those 3 guarantees are the opportunity to study abroad, the opportunity to complete an internship, and the opportunity to graduate on time. So we're going to walk through all 3 of those. So the first one is the opportunity to study abroad. We do have traditional abroad opportunities if you're looking for a semester abroad or maybe a Maymester, but the program I want to highlight is our Junior Journey program, which are 7 to 10 day excursions that take place during school breaks, and they're of little to no additional cost to our students, so that we know that regardless of what your schedule looks like in or out of the classroom, you'll have the flexibility to participate. There's an academic component, you'll go with classmates, you'll go with a professor, and you'll earn a course credit while going on one of these trips. You could go pick the trip based on what you're studying and do an excursion based on your major, try something completely new, or pick the location based on you knowing that you wanted to travel to this country for your abroad experience. The second guarantee is completion of an internship. We're consistently working with our students to make sure they know what's available to them and how they can find out what they love within their major. Because that's the first step, figuring out what you want to be studying. But the next step is, okay, so you've picked biology. What do you want to do in the realm of that? And we want to help you figure that out. And so that's why we think internships are so important, both for realizing, yes, this is the field for me. Yes, this is what I want to do, but it's also proving to be immensely valuable in terms of job placement post-graduation. Students will take advantage of internship opportunities here in the Lakeland area, but also out in Tampa and Orlando, as students are able to have a car on campus for all 4 years. In terms of our graduation guarantee, there's kind of two facets to that. The first is that we're transfer credit friendly, meaning that we want to reward you for the challenging courses that you're taking in high school, those AP, IB, dual enrollment credits. We have a whole system for evaluating that and letting you know what credits would follow you to Florida Southern. The second piece is the fact that you'll consistently meet with your academic advisor several times over the course of the semester, so you know what you need to be doing and talking through your major, talking through your minor, talking through the courses that are on your radar that you want to take, but ultimately providing you a game plan, a roadmap, so you know what you need to take and when to make sure that you'll graduate on time. In terms of our post-graduation placement, you'll see the slide has some information about different companies the students have worked at following their graduation from Florida Southern, or graduate programs that they've pursued. In general, you'll see about 2/3 of our students entering the workforce within a year of graduation, and about 1/3 going on to graduate school. We are a residential campus here at Florida Southern. We very much so believe in the residential community, and we actually require students to live on campus for all 4 years. The exception to that is students that live with a legal guardian within 30 miles of our campus. So you all would be living on campus for all 4 years if you came to FSC. What's really great about that is that it allows for such an exciting and active culture, so that you know that you'll have things to do on campus on a Tuesday night, on a Thursday afternoon, to fill your schedule outside of the classroom. And you'll have opportunities to experience different types of living during your time at FSC. In terms of what we have actually on our campus, we have about 100 different clubs or organizations. We have Greek life, about 30% of our students will participate in that. We have 10 different campus ministries. Many of them are student-led. They cover kind of a wide breadth of different religious backgrounds. We have varsity athletics, D2 athletics. Amongst our 20 teams, we've won 30 national championships. We're very proud of those. We also have club sports and intramural sports. And in terms of submitting your application to Florida Southern, you can choose to apply as test considered or as test optional. So we need that high school transcript, and we need that personal essay, your personal statement. Beyond that is entirely up to you. These are middle 50% statistics for the last class. So your test scores are in that range. If you want to apply test considered, if they're below, you may want to apply test optional, but it's completely free to apply to Florida Southern, and you'll automatically be considered for scholarships when you apply. And that's what I have for you tonight.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Our next presenter is from Lynn University.
Thanks so much, Julie, and good evening, everyone. I'm just going to switch the screen over here. I hope you're all doing well tonight. My name is Bianca Simboli, and I'm one of the admission counselors at Lynn University, and I specifically work with all of the students in Missouri and other parts of the Midwest. I work with both first year and transfer students in our office. If you're not familiar with Lynn University, we are located in South Florida. So we are on the east coast of Florida, about an hour north of Miami. So we're in a great location. Boca Raton is a smaller city. So there's a lot happening in Boca. We're only a few miles from the beach, so we're in a great location. Boca is actually one of the fastest growing metropolitan areas in the United States right now. So it's a really great area for our students to be in. I think one of the draws to Lynn is our students really take advantage of the things that are happening both on and off campus. And our location also is conducive for students to do internships and things like that throughout the semester, as opposed to just waiting for the summer to go home and do those and complete those opportunities. Boca is a really diverse area in the sense that there's a lot of different types of people in the area. Maybe you've heard of Boca as kind of a retiree type of place where people go to kind of just hang out and chill, but there's actually quite a few students in the area. We have about 40,000 university students in Boca alone, between Lynn and a few of the other colleges in the area. So there's definitely a lot for students to do. And most of what's around is easily accessible by either car or public transportation. In terms of Lynn, we are a small private university. We are ranked as the top most international school in the region for our size. So in addition to kind of being in a diverse location, we are also a diverse university as well. At Lynn, we focus on three main things as part of our mission to education, and that is to provide you with a personalized, global, and innovative educational experience. So when it comes to our student population, we have about 3,000 students on campus. So we are a smaller school. We focus on that personalized experience. We're not a one size fits all kind of university. So when it comes to your academics, your faculty is really going to get to know you, try to understand what your goals are, help you figure out what you want to achieve after graduation, and they're really going to tailor your curriculum to help you get there. In addition to that, we do provide a global experience. So of the 3,000 students on campus, about 35% of our students are from the state of Florida. And then we have about 20% of our students who fall under the international bucket, coming from almost 100 different countries around the world. And then the rest filter out throughout the United States. So we have students from all over, and we've actually been seeing a growing number of students coming from Missouri and other parts of the Midwest, which is really exciting to us. So when you're in your classroom, you're going to be sitting next to students from all over the world, and you're really going to get to know and hear different perspectives as it relates to your academics. In terms of our innovative nature, we definitely are a university that is quick to make changes and adjust as we see fit. We really are teaching to your generation, Generation Z, in terms of how you're learning and what it is that you want to learn. So about 8 years ago, we redesigned our curriculum at Lynn. So we still fall into the liberal arts category, but our core curriculum is what we call the dialogues. This is similar to any core liberal arts curriculum that you'd see anywhere else, but the difference is our students aren't taking that traditional English, math, science, social science, those courses. So you're taking more courses in, I'd say they're more of an applicable study of liberal arts concepts. So you're taking things like statistics, personal finance. You might take a course in environmental policy as opposed to a traditional bio course if that's not something that you need for your major. So we really are tailoring our core to also relate to your major and things that you'll do after graduation. The main focus of the dialogues is to enhance your skills in critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and really all of those essential skills that you'll need after graduation. So you'll be practicing them throughout. We have 6 different colleges on campus, and we have a pretty wide range of majors, which is exciting. And you can find them all listed there on the right. We have a College of Aeronautics, our arts and sciences, business, communication and design, education, and a conservatory of music. So we really have an interesting mix, and all of our majors are focused in professional studies. So you're really going to be doing that experiential type of learning in the classroom. One of the great things that we've done recently is offered most of our degrees to be able to be completed in 3 years' time. So about 25% of our students are actually on a 3-year accelerated degree track. So the majority of our programs, excluding our BFA, and conservatory and education programs, so all of our Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Art degrees can be completed in 3 years' time. This will save students almost a full year of tuition, and it won't start to accelerate until after your first year. So you have time to get your feet wet and figure that all out. And then another way that we've kind of found innovation on our campus is through our iPad-powered learning program. We've actually been recognized by Apple for 4 consecutive years now for our use of the iPad in the classroom. So I know the news just came out about the new iPad, and we're hopefully going to be implementing that this fall. But all of our students do get an iPad when they get to campus. Your textbooks are going to be downloaded right onto the iPad through iBooks. A lot of them have been designed by our faculty, so they're very interactive and different than the traditional textbook. In addition to that, the iPad is part of your tuition and fees cost. So you will save about 90% of your textbook costs with our iPad program. We are also a Division II athletic program, a nationally ranked program. So that's also something that you'll find at Lynn. In terms of the application process, we're on the Common App, and you can also fill out the Lynn application. We are a test optional university, so and we have been for quite some time, so we do not require test scores, just your transcript, a letter of recommendation, and your essay as part of the admission process. You can find all of our social media handles there on the right, and here's my contact information as well as our visit link. We are open for tours currently, and we have been all year, so definitely come visit us down in South Florida. And that's all I have. Back to you, Julie.
Thank you so much, Bianca. And I will definitely come visit you in South Florida. I feel like this has been the longest winter ever. Our last but not least presenter today is from the University of Miami.
Thank you so much, Julie. Excited to be with you all, and hopefully you are still locked in, tuned in for this last presentation. My name is Charles Kamak. I'm an Associate Director of Admission at the University of Miami. and your rep for the St. Louis area. So again, excited to be with you and share a little bit about as we've worked our way down to the south and the southernmost institution here in Miami. So we are a medium-sized private institution of around 10,000 undergraduates, which works out to around 2,100 students per incoming class. One of the main things I want to focus here, though, is 75% of our classes are 27 or fewer. So really a major mantra of the institution is to allow you not only to have the feeling, the resources of a larger research institution, which we do have those resources, but the familial community aspect of a smaller liberal arts. And the other way that we're able to do this is where we draw our students from. So being that we are a private institution, close to 60% on average each year of our students come from outside of the state of Florida. Yes, so we do make a concerted effort to bring students not only from around the country, but around the world, which really reflects our location, which I'll touch on a little bit later, in being in Miami and sort of that cultural immersive experience that you'll have, being really close to Central and South America and kind of the middle of the Americas, as our president is fond of saying. Another aspect to this exploration, not only from a relational standpoint and the students and the faculty that you'll be able to connect with from all over, but also the academic exploration as well. So you'll see here our 9 undergraduate schools and colleges, as well as our 2 graduate schools, our law school and our medical school. Our largest being the College of Arts and Sciences and our Miami Herbert Business School, but all really renowned in their own right. And one of the main attributes to the academic offerings at comes in the form of something called our Cognates system, which is our gen eds at which allows you really to explore within 3 different areas. Your major will cover one. So in this example, aerospace engineering is the major, would cover your STEM cognate requirement, but then you're required to simply take 3 courses at cognate in the other 2 sections not covered by your major. So this really allows you a great deal of flexibility. I'm able to mix and match majors and minors. Over 50% of our students have an additional major and minor as a result of this system, and hopefully really encourage you to explore interdisciplinary, not only studies, but also even experiences outside of the classroom as well, which is truly benefited by our location again in Miami. So yes, you can study abroad. We have tons of study abroad options. We have over 300 plus student organizations that you can take advantage of as well. But a lot of that centralizes in our unique location. Our campus itself, our main campus is based in Coral Gables, which is the suburbs about 6.5, 7 miles outside of the city, for those of you who have not been. And so we're right off of a metro stop. You take that metro train directly into downtown Miami, where you can explore, whether it be the festivals, the food. I don't know about you, and a little hungry even right now thinking about it, as well as the sporting events, even the weather, average temperature of 72 degrees all year round. I know we're right on the cusp for those of us based in the Midwest of getting to that great weather. And so having that experience, that option with the different beaches, but also what it means from a professional development standpoint, right? And so how many international companies are based within Miami because of that proximity to Central and South America, like I mentioned, but also the cultural immersion and what that adds to your continued excellence and pursuit of higher education, and where that leads you even beyond So just a lot to be covered there. The Topple Career Center, which will help you identify the internship and professional opportunities that might be afforded to you. Now you're already thinking, I know, about applying August 1st. For those of you who are rising seniors, that's when the common application opens up, and that's when you can exclusively apply to the University of Miami. We're exclusively on that common application, I should say. I know it's a top of mind question about being test optional. I have to apologize on behalf of our institution that we have not released that as of yet. We were test optional for this past year, and we're hopeful that they'll release that very, very soon. But what I can say is that we have a holistic review process in general, which means that we're looking at every aspect of your application process. And these are the components that you'll see here. There is a possibility that we'll actually bring this down to 1 letter of recommendation that's required. So that's a plus, giving you kind of some breaking news potentially for that. If you're interested in any of the fine arts in terms of music, theater, architecture, or music, there is an audition or a portfolio component that might be required for that as well. You're automatically considered for scholarships when you apply to the University of Miami. And we are meeting 100% of demonstrated need, which we are extremely excited about and will continue to do so. This was the first year and we'll continue to do that going forward. Last but certainly not least, I want you to have an idea of when to apply. And so again, I mentioned that August 1st deadline for when the common application opens, but similar to some of my colleagues that mentioned earlier, it is in your best interest to apply earlier, not necessarily early decision, but at least by November 1st, because that puts you into consideration for both our full tuition scholarships as well as our general scholarships also. So again, you can follow us. You'll see in the right-hand corner there at Admission on all social media platforms. You can find my information there as well. Happy to be with you all and happy to take any questions that you might have.
Excellent. Well, thank you to all of our presenters for that great information and the introduction to all of your institutions. I would love right now for everyone to turn their cameras back on, and we're going to do a quick round robin with the time that we have. And all of you who are participating in the presentation today, if you do have questions for any of the presenters, please be sure to drop those in the Q&A as we go along. So I would love to ask our panelists if they could give one piece of advice to these students who are starting their college searches. What would that advice be? And we'll go in that same order that you presented. So Jeff, you are up first.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of advice you could throw around, I guess, any one of us, but one of the big ones is I would say that with the limitations on visiting campus that we've all experienced over the last year, it's probably a really good idea to start to take advantage of some of the opening campuses, to get a campus visit. There's a lot of good virtual information out there at many institutions, but as you get into the spring and the summer months, and potentially universities are more available for campus visits, I would really encourage students and their families, maybe during vacation time, but get out and get on campus and do some college visits.
John Palmer Ray, what would you say?
One of mine is to not feel locked into a specific major or program. I think sometimes when you start in your college search, you think, I'm going to do this, but then your mind changes, or maybe you realize that's what mom and dad want you to do, but you're not really interested in it. So feel kind of open to all different types of programs, majors, just like we encourage you to be open to different types of colleges as well. So keep an open mind through this process.
Excellent. Stefan?
So my biggest advice, choose a school with your head, your heart, and your pocket. What that means is with your head, it needs to make sense. So realistically, if you're trying to be a marine biology major, going to a school in Kansas where there's no surrounding water, it wouldn't make sense. So it needs to be a smart choice for sure. Your heart, whatever school you choose, be passionate about it. A lot of us, that's why we're in this position we are in. We love our schools. Same thing as a student. Be passionate behind the school. And then finally, your pocket. School usually comes with a cost. So you have to do what's best for your situation. Not what your friends are doing, what's best for your situation. So your head, your heart, and your pocket.
Excellent. Matthew?
So for me, I would say just acknowledging that all pieces of the puzzle matter. I mean, it's primarily an academic endeavor. That's what you're looking to get out of your college experience, but it's going to be your home. It's going to be your life for several years, and it's okay to take into consideration how you feel you connect with the people that you meet, both professionally and the fellow students, the campus, the sense, the area, all that factors into the equation. And it might feel a little silly at times to be giving that value in the process. But again, it's going to be your home for several years and you'll be tied to that institution for a really long time. So I think it's okay to add all of that to your college equation.
Bianca?
My piece of advice is more about the exploration of your major, and particularly to choose a school. I always recommend that students go to the course catalog on the websites of the colleges. So for example, criminal justice or psychology or majors like that, you'll find them at a lot of schools, right? But it could be an entirely different curriculum from one school to another. So just because something is labeled as criminal justice or psychology or business management, the courses that you're taking could be different from one school to another. So I always tell students to look at the breakdown on the website. And perhaps for those of you that are undecided in a major, go explore some majors, open up the curriculum and see what kind of classes you might take in certain degree programs, because you might find something that could be interesting to you that by just the title or the name of the major, you wouldn't have otherwise looked at.
And Charles.
I would just say, don't forget to enjoy, especially those of you who are rising seniors or senior year. The college process can be extremely daunting and stressful, and everything my colleagues have said, you should definitely pay attention to. But don't forget that you are only going to be in high school, hopefully, one time. And so take advantage of the opportunities, and those things that you take advantage of will ultimately supplement a great application. So.
And I think it probably goes without saying, but check your email. We're going to send you a lot of things via email, friends. So I know it's so 2009, but deal with it. That's how we communicate with you. So that said, again, we want to thank our presenters for everything they've shared tonight. We want to thank all of you for joining us. When you close out of this window, there will be a very quick 4-question survey. If you would take a few moments, answer that survey, help us to continue to provide great programming for students, perhaps even for you. Do sign up for more sessions. There will be counselors from lots of schools around for the next 2 hours. So check out some more schools. And if you want to go back and review anything from this presentation or any of the presentations this evening, those recordings can be found at strivescan.com/St. Louis 4 School. So on behalf of all of us and our friends at StriveScan, thanks again for joining us and have a good evening.